1 p.m. on March 26th, 2019, and we're going to open the administrative board meeting. Will you roll call, please?
William?
Here.
Jen? Here. Jared? Who's absent? Bill?
Here.
Dina? Here. Jason?
Here.
Rick?
Here.
Brenda? Here. I'm here. Dan?
Here.
And just before we start tonight, I would like to say that on behalf of the village, I would like to give condolences to the Doan family. Jared did lose his father this last weekend, and really send heartfelt condolences to them.
Thank you very much for that remembrance, Mr. President.
So we'll move on to the consent agenda. If you would cover the items, please.
Yep. So on the consent agenda this evening, number 1 is the February 26, 2019 Administrative Board Minutes. Number 2 is the bills payable warrant list dated March 26, 2019, which includes maintenance supplies, travel expenses for employees, dues, chemicals, concession stand materials, fuel, legal services, maintenance supplies, professional services, operating supplies, and the direct pay bills like the Visa, the health insurance, and the gas and telephone. Number 3 is resolution number 19-12, a resolution approving and authorizing execution of quote from Siemens Industry, Inc. for purchase of level transmitter for the harvester at the wastewater treatment plant. Number 4 is resolution number 19-13, a resolution approving and authorizing execution of quote from McGilvra Electric for purchase of level transmitters for digesters 1 and 2 at the wastewater treatment plant. Number 5 is resolution number 19-14, a resolution approving and authorizing execution of quote from McGilvra Electric for purchase of backup float system, new dialer, and new alarm light for the Pacific Avenue lift station. Number 6 is resolution number 19-15, a resolution approving and authorizing execution of quote from Hawkins, Inc. for purchase of fluoride feed system for the water plant. Number 7 is resolution number 19-16, a resolution approving and authorizing execution of quote from Hawkins, Inc. for purchase of sodium hypochlorite feed system for the water plant. Please excuse the next two as I butcher the purchases. Number 8 is resolution number 19-17, a resolution approving and authorizing execution of quote from HDS FM, doing business as USA Blue Book, for purchase of a spectrometer. Close enough.
Spectrophotometer.
There you go, spectrophotometer. Number 9 is resolution number 19-18, a resolution approving and authorizing execution of quote from HDSFM, doing business as USA Blue Book, for the purchase of a kilometer, close enough. Number 10 is resolution number 19-19, a resolution adopting the Village of Davis Junction Technology Resource Use Policy, and that's all the items.
At this time, does any board member wish to pull an item from the consent agenda for further discussion?
No.
I have a question.
Certainly.
I've got another trustee's packet here to sign off. Do we vote and approve the Muni Code edition? Updating?
I believe it's in the bills payable.
I understand that.
It's the once a year update that I do as opposed to quarterlies.
So once we approve the bills payable, you could
Yeah.
sign it.
But it exceeds the threshold we set for ourselves. That's my question.
Oh. Then it should be on the,
I can move it to that. Over the last 2 years, I've gone from doing quarterlies, which did not exceed the threshold, so I didn't think about the fact that now that I'm doing it once a year instead, the amount will be greater. I can add it to a resolution for the next 2 weeks.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
okay.
And then
Which item is that?
we need to pull
That's
number
fine.
2 from the consent then?
Yep.
All right.
Any other items?
No.
I move to place agenda items 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 inclusively as consent agenda items. Further, I move that all items be considered together as the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
William makes a motion to place items 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Lost my place. Inclusively as a consent agenda items. Dina seconds. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Jen?
Yes.
Jared is absent. Bill?
Yes.
Dina?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
William?
Yes. I move to adopt items 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 inclusively on the consent agenda in a single group pursuant to the omnibus vote procedure specified in the Illinois Municipal Code.
I'll second that.
So William makes a motion to adopt items 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 inclusively on the consent agenda. Dina seconds. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Jared is absent. Bill?
Yes.
Dina?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
William?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
Motion passes 7:05. Say we need to review item number 2 then, the bills payable.
I make a motion to remove bills payable to Muni Code in the amount of $3,475.44, simply because we have not voted on it prior to.
Striking that one item.
Can we approve the bills payable with that?
With the exclusion
Right.
of?
From it?
So let's withdraw that and do it as an.
I retract that vote, and I make a motion to approve the bills payable warrantless minus the bill to Muni Code in the amount of $3,475.44.
I'll second that.
Okay, so William makes a motion to approve the bills payable with the exception of striking the item to Muni Code in the amount of $3,475.44. Dina seconds. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Bill?
Yes.
Dina?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
William?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
And Jared is absent.
Motion passes 7:06. All right, move on to the officers. First up is Sawyer Faldudo, Mr. Sawyer himself.
Good afternoon, yes, I'm Tom Sawyer, the Sawyer half of Sawyer Company. Good to see everyone.
Hey there.
Oh, you can still laugh, it's all right, I used to it years ago, so no worries. But thanks for having me tonight, I appreciate it, I promise I'll be succinct, giving you kind of agenda to deal with tonight. I've got a copy of our report in front of everybody. I put together a fairly comprehensive snapshot of your investments in that you've been with us for a little bit of time now. I thought it'd be healthy to take a good look at it. You go to the very first page, or page 2 of 7, at the bottom. What this shows you is the first couple months of this year. We haven't quite wrapped up March yet. Now,
I know he wants
oh,
one.
I'm sorry. You know, we're not a save-a-tree organization. So,
Can I actually pause you for a moment? You've got to speak into the microphone or it doesn't pick up on my recorder, and Chris is going to turn that on for you. You can take it out of the holder if you don't want to
oh,
walk
that's
around.
okay. I don't sing, I don't dance.
All right.
It'd scare everybody to death. All right. So what I did was put together this first page, which is the first couple months of this year, to give you a look at the performance. And what I did was broke out the components. And Brenda, I think you might find this interesting, given that you're the one that ferrets through our statements, or the Schwab statements, I should say, every time. But let me indulge me, and I'll take you through the line items real quick. So if you look at the top line, beginning value, $1,803,434.82. That was the market value of the investments, including the accrued income at the beginning of the year. If we had sold everything on that day, you were worth $1,803,000. No money came in, no money went out. The value of the investments went up $7,989.28 over that 2-month period. You earned hard dollar income of $5,731. So, the price of the securities will bounce around. That's what you see in the line item above. But the hard dollar interest income flowing into the fund was $5,731. Management fee, that's us. That's the fee you pay us, and that covers your Schwab custodial charges as well. Change in accrued income, $689. That's an increase in the income you're entitled to, but haven't received yet. Add it all up, and you were worth $1,817,393 as of the end of February 28th. So all in, you were increased by $13,958 on the $1,817,000 for that 2-month period. So that's really kind of breaks out the components and the pieces of return as they are. If you look over one page, I give you the same type of report, really going back to day one. We started working together in June of 2017. So we started with $0. You've contributed $1,780,000. The value actually went down a bit. Interest rates went up, bond prices went down, soup to nuts over that period of time. Though you've earned $49,000 in hard dollar interest income into the fund. So that's the real dollars coming in over this window. The fees for that period of time, a little over $2,400, and your accrued income $2,207,000, and you flip back to your $1,817,000, and that's from inception. All right. Flip over one more page. We give you just really a tracking version of that shows you quarter by quarter. And it's been an interesting window of time. If you look in that right-hand column, investment gain, you see a couple minus signs down there. That's when the Fed was raising interest rates early on in this rate cycle. They seem to be done that with that now for at least a year or so. I'll chat about that more in just a minute. But then once that kind of dampened down, then the income really starts catching up again in the portfolio. Page 5, which I think is the most relevant page of my whole report, gives you a snapshot of the portfolio as of February 28th. Pardon me. And if you look at that gray shaded line at the bottom and kind of go across to the middle, you'll see the interest rate column, 2.30%. That's the average coupon or the stated rate of interest on the underlying securities. If you average when we bought them, which goes back from day one, you're at about the same level, 2.29. But where you're at today, if I froze this portfolio in time and let it live its life, just let everything mature, is at 2.64%, or the yield to maturity is 2.64% on the portfolio. So if we did nothing and just let it do its thing, you're going to earn your 2.64 by definition, and you're going to generate about $41,750 in interest income or cash flow into the fund doing that. And finally, we do give you a little write-up the last couple pages of the report, market commentary, and it is one of those unique windows of time in the interest rate environment where the Fed has pushed rates higher, but we're not so sure that the rest of the world believes or is as optimistic as the Federal Reserve is. So you've got your portfolio yielding 2.6, you got a 3-month T-bill about 2.4, and a 10-year Treasury about 2.4. So you can loan your money to Uncle Sam for 10 years and lock in 2.4%, or you can do what we're doing here, stay much more conservative, and be really in a better position. In investment lingo, the yield curve is inverted. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It has a reputation, and it's oftentimes associated with an economic slowdown. In our world here, that doesn't concern us from an investment point of view. You're in extremely high quality, relatively short-term government securities, so you do have some price volatility along the way, but not much. It's really designed to kick out that income, that $41,000 that we see in there. Looking forward, when the Fed met this month, their indication was, we're kind of done for a while raising rates. So I would expect short-term rates to be fairly stable going forward and not much change from there. And maybe one rate increase in 2020 is, if you look at the survey of the 11 Fed governors, seems to be the conventional wisdom. So I think after this couple of years of rates moving up on us, which has been nice, all of a sudden we're getting yield on our money market funds again, and your bank deposits, I'm sure, popped up a little bit, as has the yield in here. It's a window of time where I think things should be a little bit more stable, looking out for a year or two. Now, President Worm, that's about as succinct as I know how to do it with a clear conscience. I'm at the will of the board. I'd be happy to answer any questions, certainly, that I can for you.
Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Sawyer?
Yes, Mr. Sawyer.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if this is relevant or not, but the Craftsman Corporation is going to have layoffs, and it could affect as many as 4,000 people regionally here. What, if anything, or can this in any way, shape, or form affect the performance that we are going to require out of your services, to make more money here and to be stable? I really don't know if it's a correct question to ask or not. I'm just talking about the causal relation effect with the economy, because this is tied into the economy, correct?
In a defensive way.
Okay.
So it's again, buzzwords are a dime a dozen, but what we really observed in March was a true flight to quality. The economy globally appears to be slowing down a bit, which certainly gets reflected back in sentiment, here at home, although I don't forecast a recession or anything like that going on. Although if you're working for Chrysler, it's a recession in your world. I'm certainly not insensitive to that. But this portfolio, because it's invested predominantly in government securities, is immune to that type of slowdown in the sense that you don't have credit risk. It is a very stable portfolio. Our job is to really maximize the income and protect the dollars along the way.
Thank you for answering that question. I feel somewhat a little better.
I hope so.
I'm just really impressed with what it's done. I was just quietly telling William, I can't believe it's been already over a year.
Yeah.
We're approaching 2, which kind of blew my mind, so I'm really impressed.
2.64, what was our previous return?
We're, at CDs, we're getting maybe 1.75, 1.65, depending on the length. If we wanted anything above 2, we had to stretch it out over 2 years, I believe. However, I do have an in with somebody in the banking industry and did ask her, and she said that the 18-month is currently at 2.65 or something. So
Yeah, you can find a lot of specials out there, certainly at a
Yes.
retail level. If you're looking around, there tends to be some stipulations with those sometimes. But
Yes.
I would also look for those not to be around real long.
No.
Based on what's going on in the rate environment right now. So
Well, and that's exactly why we prefer to keep a portion of money local in our local banks and then invest what we can. And I believe Brenda is going to work diligently here to transfer some additional funds into this investment to maximize our return here soon. So
that's how we make our living. We do it for you. You're not chasing around trying to find CDs, and it's managed is what it amounts to. So
That's better.
I appreciate it.
Build up that nest egg again.
I appreciate the partnership.
Nah, as do we. We really appreciate it. We're always glad to come out. Just let us know when you want to see us, and we won't harass you, but we're very happy to come out and see you.
If I think is this the second time you've been here since we've?
Second or third, I can't
Yeah.
really remember.
I think the first time you came to introduce yourself, and then you've been here one other time
That's
with this,
correct.
and then now, yeah.
I asked Tom maybe every 6 months or once every other year or once a year or every.
Get it on the calendar.
Yeah, I mean, is that sufficient enough for the board, or you want more?
No, I think that's great for me.
Just an update's great.
If we do any faster, I mean, you're going to get the same information.
Right.
Not going to get much
Super cool.
change.
The good news is I have a reputation for not being overly windy. So
All right, I appreciate it.
Thanks a
Thank you.
million.
thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tom.
Do you want to discuss this next item? Or do you know about it? Oh, well,
I could.
I know
By all
about
means.
it. I know about it generally.
So the next item on the agenda is resolution number 1920, a resolution approving and authorizing an amendment to the Village of Davis Junction exclusive solid waste, yard waste, and recyclable collection and disposal contract. As was discussed previously, our current contract expires on April 1st. And so this is just a one-year extension of our current, yes, it's a one-year extension of our current contract at a 2%, at a 2% increase, which I believe has been the standard of the last 5 years. So this is just an amendment to that, extending it for another year.
and that just gets us through negotiations.
Neither Rick or I can make motions. though.
No,
2% from what?
I think it's 1575 right
15.75.
now. Yeah.
yeah, so one of the issues we had during the discussion was how hard of a time they're having right now of actually getting rid of the recycling products. So that's going to be as long as, once China stopped buying them all, it became a big issue.
The cost of recycling is going to skyrocket here soon.
It is.
So they'll pass
Glenda?
this way.
Oh, I need a microphone. Can you?
Hold on.
Did we remember to add the senior citizen discount?
We
this
haven't
time?
renegotiated yet, we're just extending what we have until we
Okay.
can renegotiate, but we will look into that definitely.
It's in the current one.
Yeah.
So they just,
Okay.
Yeah, it's a part of the current contract, and so we're just.
I know one
extending
year
that one.
we forgot it.
Yeah, no, we're just extending the current contract. Thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 1920, a resolution approving and authorizing the amendment of the Village of Davis Junction exclusive solid waste, yard waste, and recyclables collection and disposal contract.
I will second.
Dina makes a motion to approve resolution number 19-20. Jen seconds. Is there any discussion?
Yes.
Mr.
It's
Rookie?
only on the definition of a word. And it's towards the end of the legal term. If it's spelled correctly, it says binging, B-I-N-G-I-N-G, on that entity. I don't have a Black's Law Dictionary. Just wanted to know what that word meant.
Under where, Bill?
It's on the last page, 7 of 7.
Oops.
I don't see it.
I don't
The
either.
2-page.
Yeah, I don't see
Yeah.
it. Can you show me where you're talking about, Bill?
I don't see it, page 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got two.
That's not what we're talking about. That's for closed session.
Any further discussion, Bill?
Yes.
No.
William?
This is going up 2%, correct?
Yes.
And we are not passing this on to the residents?
No.
So this increase, the village is going to absorb.
Yes.
I don't know if you said that or not.
Does that make you happy?
Yeah,
All right.
as long as they come get it.
Well, Chris is going to start throwing things at me.
I pay 32 cents.
Oh, now you're going to pay. All right, we have motion second. We have discussion. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Dina,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
William,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Jared is absent, Bill.
Yes.
So the last item on my, under me end of the agenda is public concerns. And I just want to remind, we do have 3 of the current local candidates in the room. Getting some complaints that your signs are being put up in places that are not being asked for. So those, just letting the residents know as they call that they can remove signs if they're put on private property without permission. And secondly, to remind the candidates, do not put your signs in the public right of way. They cannot be there. So, that's all. Move on to clerk,
I don't have anything.
treasurer.
I have nothing.
Go on to the committee reports, community improvement, finance, William.
Do we have any emergency expenditures?
We do not.
I have nothing.
Let me catch up here. Ordinance enforcement is not here this evening. Anybody have anything on it?
I did have a question, and this is something that is later. I mean, it's not anything that's pressing for him at all right now, but was going to ask, so like I drove the opposite way around on the way in tonight, just counting the trailers down there.
The letter is right here for Rick to sign.
Okay, because it's 17 plus at the
Yeah.
moment. Okay.
Yes.
And they just, tractor just dropped one off on my way here and cut me off on the way.
Without
Yeah.
Jared being
Yeah.
here, I'll sign it and we'll get it
Awesome.
done.
Okay,
Yeah, we
thank you.
changed it to Rick's name. I guess I'd back up. I did have one thing that kind of falls in line with this discussion is planning and zoning has received a zoning application for that property, and it will go through its normal course through planning and zoning before it arrives back at this board.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
Okay. Parks, Public Safety and Health, Jen?
In the packet were the 2 advertising applications that we had received for their banners. Does anybody have any questions on them? Yeah, it'll be the top one up there.
Are they double-sided? I don't recall.
I don't think so. Are they going to be double-sided? I don't think so.
They'll be single-sided. And I guess for now, I guess it's up to the board to decide, do we basically walk, if they're approved, do we walk out there and let them choose where they want to put them? I mean, facing into the diamond, out to Lincoln Street,
I think
You know-
that should be up to
I
us.
think, yeah.
I would have it face into the diamond.
Need to
Yes.
be uniformed.
No, I wouldn't think we'd want them facing out.
okay.
yeah, and I think our policy leaves that at yours and Jen's discretion as to where it best fits your needs within the village
Okay.
park system.
Yeah, because that way if we get one that comes in and is like, hey, I want mine here, it's like,
So it'd be this picture and
yep.
this picture.
Yep, and we had received this one earlier, and I had looked at it, and the one thing that they didn't do at the time, we sent it back, was they didn't put their number on there, and I thought that would probably be their phone number should probably be on there, just in case somebody wants to call ahead.
And have it delivered?
Yeah.
Order while you're at the
order it
game and then make sure
ahead
it's
of
ready.
time.
That's cool.
Having some type of advertising background, I probably figured that was really important.
Well, the whole point of advertising out there is to direct it at the people that are coming, so facing
Right.
into the diamond would be the,
So if, does anybody have any questions anymore? Going once, going twice? Do you have anything, Kenny, you want to add?
No, it just, in the agreement, it states that they can't advertise alcohol or tobacco. If so, it needs to be taken down for youth events. We don't have any of that on either advertisement. Our cost on it, we got one quote, just so you know what it'll cost us to buy the banner. If it's just normal banner, it was $4 a square foot, so a little over $120. We go with a slotted one, which will be better for the wind. Out there, it's $5 a square foot, so it'll put us between 150 and 160. So that'll be our cost into it.
Any questions?
Who are we using to print the banners?
Well, we just got one quote so far. I got to get 2 more quotes. This one was in Sycamore. or
Banner
DeKalb.
up in Sycamore.
So I got to get a couple more quotes. Cornerstone just sent me one today. I haven't had a chance to look at it, but I'll get one more and see comparatively where everybody's at.
Jen, you can do one motion for both.
Okay, that's what I was just, my next question was going to be, can I do them together?
Yes, you can.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion on approval of our advertising banner applications from Jim Rose, Edward Jones, and F&S Sports Bar and Pizzeria.
I'll second that.
Jen makes a motion to approve the advertising applications from Jim Rose, Edward Jones, and Kristen
DeFulvio.
Fulvio
There you go.
at Father and Son Sports Bar. Dina seconds.
That's why I left that alone.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 726. Anything further, Jen?
No.
Streets and ditches, Jason.
I have nothing.
Utilities, Dina.
The resolution number 1921, Brett and I are not prepared at the moment to discuss or approve it. We're going to bring it back up later after we get more information.
We'll table that. Anything further?
I do not know, we do not.
Anyone have anything on economic development, other than Sandy telling us that we have that application pending?
I didn't want to forget.
Okay, we'll move on to public. All right.
Got heart palpitation.
Oh, microphone.
Microphone.
It's on.
Turned itself off.
No, it's on.
Was it?
Yeah.
Are you going to vote after the closed session? I mean, should I stick around? If you're not going to take a vote, I won't bother.
There is an item on the agenda
There is.
for discussion, or for,
Is that going to be a long time? The discussion.
nobody hopes so.
We hope.
Yeah, we're all hoping no.
I'm just-
Not gonna lie.
I'll come back.
We're doing good so far.
I'm
Yeah, we-
with Chris on that. I'd like to know too.
Well, being it's on the agenda, there's a very strong possibility we could vote.
I'll come back. Somebody yell outside.
Okay.
We will.
Mr. Samples, please hold on one second. I have a question for the mayor. Mr. Mayor, I was just trying to get something clarified here because there's 3 candidates in here right now, and I respect what you said about the candidate signs. I just wanted to make sure that I have not been in violation or anything, and I wanted to know if the village in any way, shape, or form has confiscated or taken any of my signs.
The village will not do that unless it's in the public right of way. We will not go onto personal property. The only thing I've been telling the people that have had signs come up is that it is their property, and if something is put on their property without their permission, they do have the authority to remove it.
Thank you.
We have not removed any.
Okay,
I know
thank
of.
you.
No, can I just make a suggestion to the candidates, though, which would be to just double check your signs to make sure they're not in a right of way.
Yes, ma'am. The only reason I was asking that is that 3 of my big 4x4 signs are gone, and, and they were proper in every way, shape, or form posted, and I thought maybe there was something that I did wrong that I didn't know, so.
We do everything in the world not to take signs because of history of 2009.
Okay, thank you, that's been reported. I thank you for clarification on that, thank you.
So tonight,
That's all.
going to closed session, and I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Ben?
Ben Jacoby.
Yeah,
Will
we-
be, and, well, just before we go there, just want to let people know that he is our
Closed session.
other attorney for closed session,
Alrighty.
Hired by,
hired by our insurance company.
not us.
We don't pay for them.
Oh,
That's correct.
He's been here before. Yeah.
So we've all met him before, but for the public
Oh,
that doesn't know who he is, he will be attending
Gotcha,
closed
I
session
forget
with us.
about that.
In case they see him at the end and they wondered who's this guy.
I forget about that.
All right, so we can take a motion to go into
We're
closed
the
session.
defendant, right?
What's that?
For the claim where we're the defendant?
Yeah, we are the defendant.
That's what I thought, okay.
I
That
was
being
trying to wonder where
said,
you were going, but, take a motion to go into closed session.
I'll make a motion to go into closed session 2C11 for litigation when an action against, affecting, or on behalf of the particular public body has been filed and is pending before a court or administrative tribunal, or when the public body finds that an action is probable or imminent, in which case the basis for finding shall be recorded and entered into the minutes of the closed meeting.
Second.
Dina makes a motion to go into closed session under section 2C11. Williams seconds. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
William?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
Jared is absent. Bill?
Yes.
Dina?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
All right, it is 7:31. It is 8:36 PM of March 26, 2019. We're going to reopen the administrative meeting, so entertain a motion to reconvene open session.
I'll make a motion to reconvene an open session.
I'll second.
Dina makes a motion to reconvene open session. Jen seconds. Is there any discussion?
Is that back speaker on?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, say sign. We're back in open session at 8:37. So all we have on here, we're going to have Ben give us a synopsis.
Dina's ready to make that.
Oh. We'll let Dina do the motion. We'll get into discussion.
All right, super. I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 1922, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of a settlement agreement and release of claims, Hawk Homes Incorporated et al. Versus Village of Davis Junction.
I'll second.
Dina makes a motion to approve resolution number 19-22. Jen seconds. In discussion, we will have Ben give us a synopsis for the record.
Okay, for the members of the public, my name is Ben Jacoby. I'm a partner at a law firm from Northbrook, which is on the north side of Chicago, called O'Halloran, Kossoff, Geithner, and Cook. We do primarily municipal law, primarily municipal litigation. We are appointed by the village's insurance carrier, the ICRMT, the Illinois Counties Risk Management Trust, which is a trust to which the village belongs. It's not like insurance companies. It's actually governed by municipalities, and they appoint my firm, O'Halloran, Kossoff, Geithner, and Cook, to represent all of its members. So in that regard, we represent over 300 municipalities all over the state, mainly actually in central, southern, northwestern Illinois, some suburbs, but I'd say actually most of our practice comes outside the suburbs, all the way down to Carbondale and Cairo. I was asked to explain a little bit about the lawsuit and about the settlement that was considered tonight by the board. There was a lawsuit filed by Hawk Homes, which owns the Rolling Meadows mobile home community. There was a dispute over some property out there, a couple of mobile homes that were in disrepair, and the village had sent some notices to remediate to those property owners to try to get them in better repair. And these were mobile homes that had a roof missing and a tarp on top for the roof. There were stairs missing to a porch. There was some rodent problems, and there were real problems affecting the health and safety of the residents out there. And so the village had taken action to try to enforce property codes to make sure that those homes were in proper order and that the residents in the mobile home community were safe. Hawk Homes responded by objecting to the notices, objecting to any authority that the village might have to enforce property codes against any of the mobile homes in its community, and filing a lawsuit to that effect that included federal claims seeking damages and attorney's fees for alleged constitutional violations. The village responded by tendering the lawsuit to its insurance carrier, and that's when I got involved. We removed the case to federal court because the federal judges often dismiss the federal claims, and the federal claims carry with them attorney's fees and increased money damages. So by doing that and getting the federal claims dismissed by a federal judge, we knock out probably 200,000 plus in exposure to the village just right off the top, and we get to the meat of the issue, which are whether the village has authority to enforce property codes out in mobile home communities like Hawk Homes, which is the real legal issue that was at play. Hawk had cited some authority that the village did not have the authority to enforce these codes out at the mobile home community. The village had much stronger authority to the opposite effect, but at the end of the day, we all kind of got into a room with the help of a magistrate judge and tried to talk about really what's at issue here, and that is that the village needs to work with the mobile home community to make sure that everything is safe. And to that end, Mr. Hawk and his companies and the village negotiated a process where certain notice procedures would be given to mobile home owners and Hawk Homes when homes fell in such disrepair that they needed remediation. And that procedure was memorialized in this settlement agreement, and it requires a letter to go out and a phone call to be made to the homeowner and to Hawk Homes, Mr. Hawk himself. It invites them in to talk with the village at a table to make sure that everybody's on the same page. And all of that happens before the village issues a formal notice to remediate and before Hawk Homes can take legal action in objection to that. So it's supposed to open up the dialogue for the village and for Hawk Homes and for the mobile home community owner, for the mobile homeowner to fix problems without more expensive litigation. So that's what was memorialized in this agreement. It's been considered at length by the board for over an hour here tonight. And I think the board is prepared to vote on it tonight. And ideally, if this is approved by the board tonight, then it will be given to Hawk. Hawk will sign it, and then it will be given back to the village. The village president will sign it, and it's something that the village will hold on to, and it will rely on a going forward basis to make sure that Hawk and the mobile homeowner are in compliance with the law and keeping their buildings safe out there and making sure that the property and the residents out there have the same standard of living that everybody else is entitled to enjoy. So with that, I think that covers most of the bases, unless any of the board members have any questions.
Any further discussion?
I believe that this is, I don't know how to put it, but this is the best tasting bitter pill of the choices that we have to make. And that's all I have to say at this point. I'd like to move forward.
I think it gives us a chance to show good faith that we're trying to do this, so if we do end up back in this situation, we stand on a better footing. If there's no further discussion?
Mike?
You gotta have a
Mike?
microphone.
I just had a question. We're not paying anything, right?
No.
It's not costing the village anything?
No, and we're not giving up any rights.
Just out of curiosity, did this, are they gonna fix the mobile homes in question, or are you gonna go back through the process?
Supposedly they're already fixed, we have to go back and look. Right now, we can't go back and look.
Okay, gotcha.
So maybe just a quick point you just brought up, something very important, is that they did ask for money damages, they did ask for attorney's fees from the village. Those are parts of the complaint and something that they wanted the village to pay, and the village is not paying anything. That was straight from the beginning, so no money is leaving the pocket of the village in the settlement agreement. They're dismissing all those claims, they're agreeing not to pursue them anymore, and it gives the village a clean start going forward. So I think that's a very good point.
Let them know that if we tried to, fight this thing, it could very well easily cost us between $150,000 and $200,000.
What's there to fight? They're gonna acquiesce to the fee as long as you follow procedures. Sorry. I'm done.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Jen?
Yes.
Jared is absent. Bill?
Yes.
Dina?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
William?
Yes.
Motion passes 844. We will send this with the attorneys to go back to the other parties. We will sign it last.
Thank you, everybody, for the work on that, by the way.
Thanks to Rick and Sandy and Ben for all their work.
Yeah.
spending a day.
I thank you guys for bearing with it and going through
That's
the
exactly why I said
That was
that,
pretty
so
rough.
that's important.
Anybody from the board have anything further? Anything further from the public?
I don't think a settlement should have been made with Hawk Homes. They've gotten away with this stuff for years, including the people who owned the property before them. The people out there aren't being treated fairly, they still have water they can't drink, they still have roads they can't drive on. We need to make them fix that place up.
Well, this is a step in that direction. It's also a step towards us helping us get our water agreement with them, so we can provide them with our water. But even when that happens, their pipes have been there long enough, they have enough sediment in them, they're still gonna have issues for a while. But hopefully
Right.
with our water, then they can start going through and doing flushing and actually getting the lines cleared out, and that could be better. It is a step in the direction we need to go.
Okay, all right, I'll trust you on that then.
That's why we
okay.
discussed this for an hour.
That's why we're.
We talked a lot
Okay,
about it.
'cause
We agree with you.
because the management out there is treating them like second-class citizens that aren't part of Davis Junction, and they are part of Davis
Well,
Junction.
And that's where the conversation came around when we originally started doing this,
You
is
know.
because we want to protect them as much as we protect everybody.
Right.
They're all,
Right, because they feel like they're not part of Davis Junction.
and we don't feel that way, that's where the conversation
And I don't think
went.
that's right. They are part of us.
I don't
agree
think
with
anybody
that.
up here sitting up here feels any
That's
different.
exactly the conversation.
Well, you know what? This resolution, actually will make them feel very a part of it, because they will be a part of the conversation when it does violate something with Hawk Homes.
They're part of
That
that as
resident
well.
will be a part of the
Right, then
conversation.
Really-
can some of you reach out to some of the residents out there that lead some of their groups and let them know that, so that the word gets out?
Well-
I can only say so much because I'm on the zoning board, so therefore I don't wanna put myself in a compromising position. You know, because I don't live there either.
Well,
But you,
basically,
you know,
this whole lawsuit, this whole settlement agreement, and the procedure it sets for us to go forward is all about, it's all for the people that live out there. It's not,
okay,
it doesn't affect anybody that lives here, it affects everybody who lives there. And it's us pushing for their rights.
that's good, because somebody's gotta defend those people, you know. All right, thank you.
If nothing else, can I make a motion to adjourn?
You can.
Second.
Dina makes a motion to adjourn, Jen seconds. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign? We are adjourned at 8:48.